Once upon a time, in a village nestled between snow-covered hills, lived two best friends, Lily and Tom. They were known for their adventurous spirits and their knack for finding lost things. So, when a frantic woman named Mrs. Claus approached them one day, they knew they had to help Mrs. Claus explained that her husband, Santa Claus, had lost his magical bag of gold coins, which he used to buy gifts for children all over the world. Without it, Christmas would be ruined. The bag had been misplaced during the annual Winter Treasure Chase, a thrilling event where The chase began with a bang as Santa and the other treasure hunters took off across the glistening ice, each mounted on their unique mode of frozen transportation. One by one, the hunters took their turn. First, there was Holly, who glided down on her belly, then Santa, who braved the icy slope headfirst. She ran up the iceberg and, without a moment's hesitation, jumped onto Tom's back. But as they rushed toward it, a familiar cackle echoed across the ice. It was Madame Frost, the self-proclaimed Queen of Winter and Santa's arch-nemesis. She stood triumphantly beside the bag, ready to claim it for herself. But before she could stop them, Lily and Tom smashed the snowball with the bag of gold, sending water cascading down the iceberg. Overjoyed at their success, he rewarded Lily and Tom with a special treat, a ride in his sleigh pulled by 8 reindeer across the snowy landscape. They had saved Christmas and learned the true meaning of friendship and courage. They had faced treacherous blizzards, outsmarted Madame Frost, and discovered a secret tunnel. She sat up in bed, her heart pounding, wondering if someone had entered her room. But when she turned on her lamp, everything seemed fine. Confused, she got out of bed to investigate the noise. That's when she noticed a small crack in her window. The Winter Treasure Chase had been the adventure of a lifetime. As she slept, she found herself in a winter wonderland. Before she could ask what it was, Santa vanished, leaving Lily alone in the silent dream. On the palace wall, she saw a keyhole and without thinking twice, inserted the golden key. As the lock clicked open, a passageway appeared leading into the palace. Excited, Lily stepped inside. Puzzled, she started to explore. As she walked, she noticed a majestic palace in the distance, its windows glowing with warm light. Snow sparkled around her, and in the distance, she could hear the joyous laughter of children. Suddenly, a figure appeared before her. It was Santa Claus, his eyes twinkling with mirth. Each night, she would visit Santa's dream world, repelling Madame Frost's attempts to steal the Dreamstone. During one such visit, Lily stumbled upon a peculiar ice cave adorned with intricate frost flowers. Fear surged through Lily, but she stood her ground. A fierce battle ensued. Madame Frost conjured ice shards and blizzards, but Lily dodged each attack, determined to protect the Dreamstone. The 3 of them devised a plan. Santa would disguise himself as a snowman and infiltrate Madame Frost's castle, while Lily and Tom would guard the secret stash of toys. Intrigued, she ventured inside and found a frozen lake in its center. Together, they fought off Madame Frost, who retreated, vowing revenge. As word spread of the enchanting new destination, children from all over the world began visiting the dream world, their laughter echoing through the sparkling halls. Exhausted but victorious, Lily and Tom realized they couldn't defeat Madame Frost alone. They needed Santa's help. The icy caves became a beloved addition to the holiday season, bringing joy and wonder to children's dreams for many years to come. When they finally landed back at Mrs. Claus's house, they were greeted with warm hugs and hot chocolate. But who could it be? Just then, she heard a familiar cackle. Looking for something, Lily? Madame Frost emerged from the shadows, a mischievous grin on her face. It's only accessible in my dreams, and I need your help to protect it. She waved the staff, and in a flash, the entire ice cave transformed into a whimsical winter wonderland. Frolicking animals, sparkling icicles, and playful snowmen greeted them. And in the center, a massive Christmas tree shimmered with lights. He handed her a wooden box. This contains the Dreamstone, a magical gem that ensures the toys come to life in children's dreams. Please keep it safe. Meanwhile, Lily and Tom braced themselves for Madame Frost's attack. The hours ticked by, and just as they began to lose hope, they heard a familiar sound, the jingling of bells. It was Santa, returning with Madame Frost in tow. All the villagers had gathered to celebrate their victory over Madame Frost. There, encased in ice, was the source of the footprints they had seen earlier, a magical staff that amplified one's powers. Realizing its potential, Lily shattered the ice and claimed the staff. Just then, the dream began to fade and Lily knew she had to wake up. As she opened her eyes, she found herself back in her room. In her hand, she clutched the wooden box containing the dreamstone. The flood washed away the remaining snow, revealing a tunnel that glistened in the sunlight. Toys and presents were piled high, and a giant Christmas tree glittered in the center of the room. But what truly captivated her was a large map hanging on the wall. It was the map of the Winter Treasure Chase course. And in the center, marked with a red X, was a spot she had never seen before. Startled, Lily spun around, but there was no one there. Had she imagined the whole thing? Shaking off the strange encounter, she decided to go back to bed. But as she lay there, the voice from before echoed in her mind. The sun was shining brightly, promising a beautiful new day. With a newfound sense of purpose, Lily knew she had an important job to do. She had to protect Santa's secret stash of toys and ensure that children all over the world continued to receive the magical gifts that brought joy to their dreams. Find me in your dreams. What did it mean? Was it a message from Santa? Or was there another explanation? Together, they plunged into the freezing water, bracing for impact. But Lily and Tom, working together, overcame each obstacle. Curiosity overcame her, and she carefully opened the box. Inside, nestled on a bed of sparkling snow, was a golden key. With everyone's strength combined, they heaved the bag to the top of the iceberg. Then, taking a deep breath, Tom and Lily slid into the water, this time with the added weight of the bag. At first, it seemed like they might capsize. But remembering how they had conquered the iceberg before, they kept their balance and steered the boat with all their might. Finally, they confronted Madame Frost, who taunted them, saying the bag was too heavy for them to move. But Lily had an idea. Working together, they could slide the bag down the nearby iceberg, just as Tom and Lily had done earlier. To their surprise, instead of shattering upon hitting the water, their banana boat flipped, sending them both tumbling out into the frigid water. Shivering but safe, they crawled out of the iceberg and collapsed onto the shore. Exhausted but exhilarated. But when it was Tom's turn, he hesitated. The slope was too steep and the landing looked perilous. He couldn't risk injuring himself or worse, sinking into the iceberg. There was Jingle the Snowman, who ambled along on a pair of ice skates. Holly the polar bear glided effortlessly on the ice. And Rudolph, well, he flew through the air, leaving a trail of sparkling snowflakes. And his fellow treasure hunters raced across the frozen North Pole, dodging icebergs and treacherous blizzards to retrieve hidden treasure. But this year, amidst the chaos, Santa had lost his precious bag. Determined to save Christmas, Lily and Tom joined the winter treasure chase, hoping to find the missing bag before it was too late. As for Lily and Tom, they chose to travel in a banana boat made of ice that Tom had spent weeks carving. It may not have been as flashy as Rudolph's flying sleigh, but it was sturdy and, most importantly, it floated. The racecourse was a mesmerizing sight. Over hills and dales they went, past frozen waterfalls and caves that sparkled like diamonds. At every turn, the treasure hunters had to solve riddles and puzzles, proving their wit and skill. Jingle stumbled as he tried to leap over an ice fissure, causing him to fall into a deep crevasse. Quickly, Tom waded in to rescue him, emerging with the snowman dripping but unharmed. Next, they encountered a blizzard so fierce it threatened to bury the entire course. But just as they were about to give up hope, Rudolph emerged from the swirling snow, guiding them to safety. Finally, they reached the last challenge. A huge iceberg with a lock that didn't open until someone slid down its side. Seeing her friend's fear, Lily knew she had to help. And that's when they saw it, sparkling in the distance, the lost bag of gold. A fierce battle of wits and courage ensued. Madam Frost conjured blizzards and ice rinks to try and stop them. The plan was risky, but with no other options, they agreed. As they approached the finish line, Madam Frost unleashed one last attack, summoning a giant snowball to block their path. With renewed energy, they glided through the tunnel, which led them right to Santa's waiting sleigh. Cheers erupted as Santa embraced his recovered treasure bag. As they soared above the clouds, Lily and Tom knew they had done something truly special. That night, as Lily drifted off to sleep, she thought about everything they had experienced. And then suddenly, just as she was falling asleep, she heard a loud crash. Cautiously, she moved the curtains aside and gasped. Outside, perched on her window sill, was a small box wrapped in shimmering gold paper. Just then, she heard a voice. "Find me in your dreams, Lily," it whispered. Determined to uncover the mystery, she closed her eyes, hoping the dream world would hold the answers. "Welcome to my dream, Lily," Santa boomed. "I have a special task for you." Drawn to it, she approached cautiously. The interior was like nothing she had ever seen. Suddenly, Santa reappeared. "That's the location of my secret stash of toys," he explained. Lily, overwhelmed with the responsibility, promised she would. She raced to the window and looked up at the sky. As the winter treasure chase commenced, Lily found herself deeply immersed in her mission. Upon closer inspection, she noticed tiny footprints in the ice, indicating someone had recently been here. "Give me the dream stone," she demanded, "and perhaps I'll make your death a quick one." Suddenly, an unexpected ally appeared. It was Tom, who had followed Lily into the cave. So, the next time Lily visited the dream world, she alerted Santa to the danger. As night fell, Santa set his plan in motion. "I found something that might interest you," Santa said, leading them to a corner of the cave. Empowered by its magic, Lily knew exactly what to do. Overjoyed by the transformation, Santa knew this place would be perfect for the children to visit in their dreams. And so, thanks to Lily's bravery and the winter treasure chase, Christmas was saved once again.